Hey everyone, this is Corinne Lafont, your favorite radio host, your only radio host, of course, and favorite girl on Between the Lines, broadcasting to you from Trinidad and Tobago. And I always start my show off being grateful. I am, happy to be here. I'm grateful. I'm thankful to be alive, to be able to continue bringing my episodes, my show Between the Lines to you, to empower, educate you, and inspire you. I am so grateful to be able to breathe air, fresh air that actually not only oxygenates my body, but it just really invigorates every blood cell in me that I just feel so much alive. I feel energy. I feel connection to source or whatever you want to call it, to God, to Jesus, your higher being, whatever you want to name it. It doesn't matter, or name him if you want to refer to it as a it or him or who. Doesn't matter to me. I just feel so much more connected every time I take in a deep breath. I feel so invigorated, and I'm thankful for that. I'm even thankful again to have this wonderful, beautiful woman in front of us on the screen here. This is Joyce Fields with a wealth of experience, much more than me. We're going to be talking about men. So people, sit back, get your best drink, coffee, whatever it may be to able to listen to the lady with wisdom. She's going to go back a bit to share about her little love relationship going on with her husband, and we're gonna learn some tips from somebody who has been there, is still there, and sharing with us. So let me tell you a quick bit about her, and we're going to go straight into the discussion, which is about the best way to keep a man is to let him go, among other things. So let me tell you a bit about her. Joyce was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, which she is now, I think. Or are you in California, Joyce? I think you're in California.
Yes, I live in California now.
She is retired and now lives in, Arcadia, California. She started her career as a stenographer at a major utility company in Detroit, working her way up through supervisor of word processing, then as an office manager for an automotive advertising agency, and lastly as an executive assistant at a large non-profit health maintenance organization. She's also a professional proofreader. One of her clients was eHarmony, the dating service. People are familiar with that. All of these positions were leading her into writing and becoming an author. She's a self-published author of 10 books, 9 different genres: memoir, parenting, relationships, children's education, bullying, fairy tales, quotes, health, spirituality. She and her husband have been together for 61 years, since they were both 13 years old. What did they know about love at 13? And they just celebrated their 51st wedding anniversary on June 3rd. Congratulations to you and your husband, Joyce.
Thank you.
She considers herself to be a relationship expert, obviously after 61 years of marriage and being together from 13, and wrote a book entitled The Best Way to Keep a Man is to Let Him Go, which is what we're talking about today. All of her books can be accessed at goodshortbooks.com, and we're going to feature that a little bit later in the interview. So welcome officially to Between the Lines, Joyce. How are you?
I am doing fine. My motto is too blessed to be stressed.
Damn straight, damn straight. That's what it is.
Yeah. I don't stress about too much of anything.
Yeah, you shouldn't, or else you wouldn't be looking as good as you.
Thank you.
So let me go back a bit, just a few years, nothing much. Age 13.
Okay.
Age 13. What the hell do you know about love, and what did you see in your husband at the time to be able to know this was the man for you?
I'll tell you, it really was something else, because it was like I was told. I really can't explain it. It's like all the rest of the boys were playing baseball and being silly and all of that, and he had a paper route. And I thought that would be something that would be encouraging, because he was so responsible at 13 years old, with a paper route. And he bought his own clothes with his money that he made from his paper route. And he always smelled good, and he looked good.
How you get so close to smell him, Joyce?
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, well, he used to smell. He used to. Well, he still does. The cologne thing. So you don't have to get that close to smell it.
He's still working that charm on you. He's still working that charm on you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So you
Yeah.
saw that in him,
So
and you said you were told. You don't know. I want to get into that some more, because that seemed to be more intuition. That's something here your inner voice was saying to you that a lot of us don't pay
yes.
attention to. And I want you to talk more about that, because I'm sure that is what helped to keep your relationship, to keep to keep you two connected, because you followed what your true self was telling you, as opposed to you following what the world tells you. Find a man like this, the checklist, you know
Hmm.
whatever your other friends were doing or saying at the time, getting caught up in the whole materialistic worldly view. So let's go back to age 13 again, and continue to tell me what I'm minding your business here. What is it?
Well, like I was telling you, Korean, I was told, and I just followed the leadership that I was given, and that's what happened, And when we got 18, I told him that if he married me, he wouldn't have to stop doing anything that he was doing. And so, knowing that at that time, I already had known that guys don't mature as quickly as
Mm-hmm.
girls do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I was willing to wait for him to settle in, settle down, and all the rest of that stuff.
No,
So
stop right there, Joyce. There are a couple of things you said I want to go back to. You said you were told. Tell us what it is that you
mhm.
heard, that you were told. What?
I was told that this is the guy that I was going to marry.
Eh, just like that.
Yes.
And is it
I cannot explain it, but that's what I was told,
and
that
you
that
felt that
this is
where?
the guy.
And it resonated with you where in your body?
In my heart and in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I started to just daydream about being married to him, and
Mm-hmm.
all of these things, and then the way that girls are romanticizing
Mm-hmm.
relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did, but I romanticized it only to a certain extent. But
Mm-hmm.
then I already knew that this was real life, it wasn't romanticized.
At 13, at 13,
Yes.
you felt that. And is it because you saw him doing the paper route and your mind started to say he looks like he's a mature, responsible guy at 13?
That's exactly what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, at 13.
Mm-hmm. You said, this guy looks like he has potential. I could marry somebody like this. He looks like, he's not like the other boys. He's different.
Yes.
Mm, yeah.
Yes.
And then you waited till 18, and then you told him, if you marry me, I wouldn't want you to change anything. Did you coerce the man?
No, I didn't coerce him. I just convinced him.
Right, Joyce. You basically told the man, look, I'm here for you. I'm the woman for you. Marry me.
That's right.
And of course, you use the line, I'm not going to make you change anything, because you're a smart girl. You know that the one thing to push a man away is to try and control him. You know this. From the
Mm-hmm.
time and a lot of smart women don't, I shouldn't say smart, a lot of women don't realize that that's the way to be smart. Because you yourself as a woman don't want to be controlled. And it's even worse yet. Worse for a man, because of their ego, that false self,
Yes.
what other guys think and what other people will think, to tell them, I don't want you doing that. Don't hang around with those friends. Don't come in that late at the hour. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. As if you're their mother.
You got it.
You're not
You
going
got
into
it, Lorraine.
relationship.
You got it.
Exactly. You're not going into relationship to be his mother. He doesn't need another mother. He has one already. He
That's
needs
right.
he needs a woman, a partner, not somebody to be his mother. What the hell?
Yep. You got it.
So you were
I
smart.
knew that at 13.
So how you knew that, and a lot of other young girls, even right now, don't know this. Is it
I know.
something? Is it something that was happening in your time and space that allowed you to be so mature? What was your environment at the time that allowed you
Well,
to have those type of those type of thinking, to realize to yourself, the way to really get this guy or have this guy, I see potential, I feel within me, I cannot come to him with this kind of talk about control or else he's going to leave, and I can't do that. What it
Mm-hmm.
is that was happening, what environment you grew up in for you to be so wise at that age compared to the children now?
Well, you know what? It was my mother.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, I'm the oldest of 7,
Mm-hmm.
and she never tried to control my father. I watched her as
Mm-hmm.
she interacted with him and all of that, so, and he never tried to control her.
Okay.
But, and they had a good relationship. I had fabulous parents. As a matter of fact, the first book that I wrote
Mm-hmm.
was a tribute to the way that we were all raised.
Yes.
And so the first book that I wrote is called Line of Serenity. And
Nice.
it's all about the way that we were raised. I was born in 1944.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, I'm the oldest of 7. And so my mother had 7 kids, all 7 different personalities, and she never lost her cool. All I remember is the calmness in our home.
Wow. Why don't we have that today?
I know. It's very sad.
Why? Why? What do you think? I mean, you're a couple of decades. What have you seen that has brought us down to this point?
Well, I think that another book that I wrote is called The Limitless Golden Rule, 21 Ways to Use the Golden Rule in Your Life.
Yeah.
And I think that we have lost sight of and lost touch with the golden rule.
Mm-hmm.
We don't treat people the way that we want to be treated anymore in this
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. Simple rule that's so hard to follow, it seems, Joyce. Why? What we don't want for ourselves, why are we doing it to others? And this whole thing about control, everybody's just trying to control everybody. Why? And it's so subtle, Joyce. It
You
is
know
so
what?
subtle.
I think that it's because we are not controlling ourselves.
Mm.
Because when you don't control yourself, then you try to control others.
But who gave you the authority to control others if you can't even control
You
yourself?
don't have that authority. Another book that I wrote is called My Simple Quotes to Live By. And one of the quotes in there is, the hand that you are dealt should only be played by you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
And then
so,
we have to take responsibility too,
yeah, that's right.
we have to take responsibility. We give permission and for people to treat us the way we do. And if we don't touch
Yes,
up on it, if we don't touch
exactly.
up on it and put a stop to it, and it also lets us know that there is something within us that is weak. We are not
Hmm.
strong enough, and we need to find out why it is that I allow this person. So instead of pointing blame and say, you did me this or you did me that, you should
No.
be looking inward to find out why is it that I keep attracting these type of people, allowing this to be happening to me when I know
Hmm.
I don't feel good about it.
That's correct.
Yeah,
And so, and you only, people will treat you the way that you allow them to treat you.
yeah. And I think, people are afraid. Everything comes back to fear, Joyce. We're
Hmm.
afraid of being alone. We're afraid of not living up to society. Society tells us, at age this, you should have that and that and that.
Oh,
And
that's crap.
yeah. And at age that, or else you're just a bum. You're a loafer, a waste of time. You have no ambition.
Hmm.
They start to label you because you haven't achieved in their estimation, what you should have at this particular age. And I'm like, really, really,
Yeah, you cannot live by others' expectations. You have to set your own expectations.
really. I mean, it's just so vexing just thinking and talking about it. And you should get vexed as an individual, knowing that, and talk to yourself, and go within and say, why the hell am I allowing this for me to be angry about this? Why am I angry about this? To hell with everybody else.
Yes, So you have to be at peace within yourself. I think that it's all about inner peace as well.
It
And
is.
we were all seven of us were taught inner peace. Even to this day, we
Yeah,
still have that inner peace.
yeah.
So you have to. It's like my late mother-in-law always used to say, every pot has to sit on its own bottom.
Unless it's bottomless, but then it wouldn't be a pot. But
That's right. See? And then she's also the one who told me that at 15 years old, she told me the best way to keep a man is to let him go. And so
wow.
then when I married her son at 23, when
Mm-hmm.
we got married at 23 years old,
Mm-hmm.
um, then I observed that there were other things. So, and I didn't write the book until she told me that at 15, and I wrote the book, The Best Way to Keep a Man is to Let Him Go. And
Mm-hmm.
I added, among other
Other
things, because
things.
I had observed that
Yeah.
there were other things involved in it as well as to
But
keep.
but let's clarify that letting him go aspect of it. What do you mean by letting him go?
That means you have to be secure enough within yourself to
Yeah.
not be
Back to you.
concerned about where he is when he is not with you.
So that means you need to be whole. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yes,
It
most
doesn't.
definitely.
Yeah, you have to be whole. So this
Yes.
thing where we're searching for somebody to complete us, to make us whole, is absolute, absolute nonsense.
Oh, yes, it is definitely absolute
And
nonsense.
this is what causes breakdown in marriage, because we are and relationships and homes, families, because we are looking for that other person to provide that thing that we are missing within ourselves. And if we
I
don't
know.
get it, if
That's
we
very true.
if we don't
That's,
get it, then it causes a breakdown, because it's like, you were supposed to do this. I expected you to do that. And
I
you're like,
know.
when did I sign that
I
contract?
expected you to make me happy.
Yeah, well,
And
hey,
happiness comes from within. It's
that's
you already be happy.
right. Yeah, you're supposed to make me happy. You're supposed to do this. I'm like, which contract was signed for that, please? When,
Mm-hmm.
where,
Exactly.
when did we have that? Right?
Yes, that's very true.
So people
So,
are looking for reasons why there's so much divorce, there's so much breakdown in family. And is the whole expectation. Why are you having expectations of
mhm,
somebody? Why?
because society tells you that,
You're
and
marrying
see, we're,
society.
we're also we're also misled as females. We have the misconception of a marriage or a relationship supposed to make us happy. We've been brought up on romance novels.
Oh yeah.
Men don't read them. They don't even know what the hell is going on. They don't read those romance novels.
Yeah, yeah,
They don't know what we even expect from them.
exactly. Exactly.
And men don't long to be husbands and fathers.
Yeah, yeah.
We
They
have
don't
to
see that
wait for
the end
them
goal.
to
Yeah,
grow into that.
they don't wake up in the morning and say, I just can't wait to be a husband and father.
I
It's
know.
it's the ultimate thing to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we are raised as females, we are really given a disservice, and all these romantic movies, call them chick flicks, so yeah.
You know what I find amazing? And it's so funny now. I mean, more funny than amazing is that all the things that we have learned, socialized by parents, teachers, society, media, it doesn't matter where it comes from, or combination of all of them, we have to unlearn. We were so
Yes, we do.
brainwashed,
Yes.
brainwashed, that now you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you're like, what the hell? What have you done to me? Because at
Mm-hmm.
that point you had no control as a young child of what pours into you. You come into this world, you're dependent on your parents and all these different infrastructure to groom you, to grow you. And this is what you end up being now. And you're
I'll
like,
give you, I'll give you a good example, Corinne.
yeah.
Um, when we first got married, um, we were 23 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I told you that I'm the oldest of 7. And
Right.
when my mother cooked a big pot of whatever, beans, greens, cabbage, whatever she was cooking, you were not allowed to eat out of the pot because you would contaminate the whole pot if you did have a cold or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when my husband and I got married, I didn't allow him to eat out of the pot.
Wow.
And so it was just me and him.
Mm-hmm.
So he one day he mentioned to me, he said, I don't know why you say don't eat out of the pot. It's just the 2 of us. And I kiss you and hug you and you know, and all of this stuff, you know. And then I thought about it and I said, he's got a good point there.
Yeah.
So, you know, he could eat out of the pot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
only if it was just going to be for the 2 of us. If
Yeah.
we had guests coming, then he could not eat out of the pot.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So I
You
had
know,
to unlearn that. You see
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. A lot of unlearning. I remember as a university student on campus, there were a close-knit group of friends. You know, we were even living we were living on dorm, as you talk about eating out of the pot. And that was one of our traditions. You know, we would get up and make tea together. So we would
Mm-hmm.
have tea time and we would all gather in one of the girls' rooms, you know, and it's always like done by me or by the one who was living opposite me. And you would hear the footsteps coming down and we have tea together. And that was just such a moment, you know, for us as girls, just to sit down and have that tea moment. And then there was a lot of silence and just enjoying the silence. And there were times when one of us would cook and we ate out of the same pot.
Mm-hmm.
It was just us and there was nobody else external. It was just us as a little group of probably about 4 or 5 of us. And
Yes.
that was just like our little sitting around the fireside type of communal eating. We all ate out of the same pot.
Mm-hmm.
And there
Well,
was
so now one of the first chapters in the book is modify the way you think. And
mm-hmm,
that is where I modified the way that I thought as
mm-hmm,
far as eating out of that pot is concerned. But you have to modify the way you think in a lot of aspects. And
mm-hmm,
it's usually, you know, what I say is in the book, 80%, based on my observations and experiences, 80% of the success of a relationship rests on the shoulders of the woman, of the
yeah,
female,
yeah,
because we are born practically domesticated.
yeah,
Men are not.
yeah, yeah.
We have to wait for them.
I like how you said that earlier, and I'm glad you repeated it. What do you mean wait for them? I think I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. I agree
Mhm.
with you because I've noticed it. But some women are not prepared to wait. You know, you want a ready-made.
Oh, that's how come you have divorces
Yeah.
and
You want the
separations.
ready-made. You want the ready-made. You know when you go into the supermarket or the store,
Yeah,
you just
can't do it.
yeah, you just unwrap it, you shove it in the microwave, and boom, shakalaka,
Can't do it.
it's done.
You can't do it, and you can't force it.
Well, my darling, they force it.
Yes,
And
they
they're
do.
like, you better grow up. You better do this. You better do.
Yes,
And then
that's right.
they rush into the marriage, and it's like the guy wasn't at a place yet to be married. The woman probably wasn't even at a place yet to be married. And they're
Mm-hmm.
forcing a marriage when they're not. And it may be not a matter of them forcing the marriage too, but society, their parents, get married, have children,
Mm-hmm.
have grandchildren. So it's like pressure all around.
Yes, there it is. It is. But we went together for 10 years before, you know, from 13 to then we got married at 23.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So you waited. You waited. You should have been married at 18. What's wrong with you, Joyce? You saw the man already. You knew it was him. You got the word. You saw the potential. 18, you tell the man, look, marry me. I wouldn't control you. He could have married you then. Why wait until 23?
Well, we weren't ready yet.
Mm-hmm. And
I,
then
I just let I just let him know that
you just put your
when it
intention out
was.
there. You put your
Right.
intention.
What'd you say?
You put your intention to him.
Exactly. Exactly.
And didn't you try to talk yourself out of it? Like when you were 13 to say, what am I thinking? I'm only 13. Didn't that other
No.
part of you step in,
No.
didn't your ego step in and say, are you crazy? At 13, I should be playing with dolls or getting high school or having friends and, what am I thinking about this guy? Are you crazy at age 13? What am I thinking about marriage?
No, I wasn't thinking about marriage at that, well, kind of, sort of I was, but, it was, I thought about, I used to write his name all the time and write my name as Mrs., and all of that, at 13, 14, 15, 16, but I still wasn't ready for marriage at that point. Even at 18, I wasn't ready for marriage.
Mm.
But it was like you said, I had set my cap.
And didn't he have other girls that were probably looking at him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why you? Is it because you have the stick-to-itiveness and the maturity and you let him know, I'm not going to control you?
That's exactly what it was.
You played your game right, Joyce. You know this thing. You know
Yes.
it.
Yes. I was given that kind of wisdom.
Yeah, thank God for that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you grew up in the
Mm-hmm.
environment that you saw what worked, what kept a family unit of marriage together. So you decided, hey, I could relate to this. I'm not here to control anybody. And I want to come back to the point of being whole, because we talk about letting a man go. And
Yeah.
I like that point where you said that you're not afraid, you're not wondering where he is, who he's with, what he's doing, because you're comfortable within yourself.
Exactly. And that is the key. That is the whole key. You
So,
have to be at peace within yourself.
so when your girlfriends come and say, hey, Joyce, why aren't you worrying where your husband's at, where your man's at?
They never said that.
They probably couldn't come to
They
you.
never said that.
But Joyce, other girls, women are going to come and say, if it was my man, I would be calling him, texting him. I would want to find out. I would probably drive by his dad place. Wonder, why, what's happening?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I was at peace within myself. I didn't worry about where he was, And it's just recently he used to tell me that my peace was contained in a tank.
You have a lot of it.
Yeah. He said that it was contained in a tank. I'm sorry, this phone is ringing.
No, don't worry about it. That's fine. It's fine. A man may interpret that to mean another man, I might say, to mean that you don't care. Why isn't my woman worried or running me down or concerned or jealous? They love to know that a woman is jealous and she's going crazy and, texting and calling him all over the place and trying to find him. Although they complain about it, but deep down they like the feeling of knowing that a woman is after them and trying to figure out where they are.
Well, I think that they're insecure.
Mm. Yeah.
So he's secure within himself, and I'm secure within myself.
Mm.
So you have to come to that position with each other.
Yeah, and within yourself, and that
Yes,
takes
exactly.
growth. That is not something you can do overnight, and especially knowing what we know now, that we have been brainwashed and we have to unbrainwash ourselves.
I know. That's the truth, Corinne.
Yeah.
Another chapter in the book is called Do Not Take Man Advice from a Woman Who Has No Man. And that is one of the mistakes that a lot of women make.
But how could you take advice? I need you to shift a little bit to your left, Joyce, to your left. Yeah.
Okay.
How could you be taking advice? I always wonder that. How could you take advice from someone who hasn't even been there, done that? How?
Well, that's the mistake that a lot of women make. They will listen to a woman who does not have a man, and they'll tell you what you should do and shouldn't do, and then a lot of women will listen to that.
Yeah, misery loves company. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Corinne, when they will tell you to leave him.
Yeah.
And then once you leave him, guess who's the first one in line?
I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and you have to be smart enough to know that.
Mm. Yeah.
And then another thing is that you have to do is that you have to have in a relationship, you have to have a commitment that divorce or separation is not an option.
Yeah.
You have to work through your problems.
Yeah, you have to work it out. Work it out.
Yes, yes. If you both want it to work, then you will make it work.
So we talk about the letting him go. Be prepared to let him go, meaning be comfortable within yourself that you're not worried about where, who, or whatever that he may be doing. So
Yes.
this is amongst other things. So let's tap into a few of those amongst other things. We don't want to touch on all because
Mm-hmm.
we want to get persons to buy the book, and I'm going to feature your website in a little while so that they can see where to get not only that but a lot of the other books that you have written that will be helpful to them on their journey.
Yeah, I've written 10 books.
Yeah, wonderful. I congratulate you on that. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So share us with us some tips of the amongst other things that a woman should be doing, who is in a relationship, have a man that they're probably not doing.
Okay, one of the things is cooking.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these young girls nowadays take pride or pleasure in not being able to cook, not wanting to cook, not knowing how, all of that stuff. One of the last chapter in the book is called "The Way to a Man's Heart is Through His Stomach."
Well, we
That
know that.
that saying is older than I am.
Right? I wonder who made that up.
I don't know, but it sure is true.
Yeah, yeah.
A man loves a home cooked meal
Yeah.
that you fix with your own two hands, and don't be fixing something frozen or out of a box. And I don't think that they particularly like to go out to eat all the time, so cook.
Mm-hmm.
And so the last chapter is, like I said, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And then it's followed by, excuse me, by 21 of my own recipes. Excuse me. And I'm told that I'm a fabulous cook.
Well, for you to be married for 61 years, hello, there must be something going on.
Yeah, and it's so the recipes, it's I've got desserts and entrees. I have banana pudding,
I'm
macaroni
coming
and
over to
cheese.
your house. I'm coming over to your house. But you know what I like doing? I like the idea of sharing that responsibility. I don't mind cooking sometimes alone because it's therapeutic to cook alone. But I think for the two people to grow and work together, and you learn a lot about the other person, is to share that cooking in the
No,
kitchen.
he can't cook, so he depends on me to cook. So he does not cook. My son cooks
Yeah.
because when my son was a teenager, he's 48 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
I told him that he wasn't going to be at the mercy of
Of a
any
woman.
female, and I didn't say any female either. I said, you're not going to be at the mercy of any female. If she's getting mad at you or whatever, then she don't want to cook. Then you can go and cook for yourself.
That's right.
So
Empower
I
them.
taught him how to cook.
Empower
But
them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, my husband doesn't know how to cook. He doesn't. He's not. I don't even like for him to be in the kitchen.
So that means you cannot be upset with him. You see, no, he knows why you have a tank full of peas because he knows that you're not going to get upset and then leave him right there to starve.
No, exactly. I would never do that.
Yeah, but it's
So.
good for couples, especially the couples nowadays. I think we have transitioned into sharing that responsibility, or even
Mm-hmm.
the man cooking now, for the woman. If you're both working individuals, one person comes home before the other one, whoever reaches
Mm-hmm.
could start.
Mm-hmm.
There is this thinking still where if the woman comes in after the man, she must still come and cook. And he was there how many hours or for the whole day, and he does nothing and waits for
Mm-hmm.
us to come home and cook and still see the kids, do the washing and do everything. I mean, that is so old school and controlling.
Well, just depends on your man, because my husband is that way. He waits for me to come home and cook.
Okay. Okay.
But he can cook like scrambled eggs and stuff like that, basic stuff. He's
Yeah.
not going to starve
Yeah. Yeah.
if I'm not home.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
always have fruit,
Mm-hmm.
and
There's always something in the fridge. I mean, you could prepare something, whether it's a sandwich or whatever it may be.
exactly.
But I'm saying nowadays things have shifted where, you know, the men can come home and you have things like even YouTube and things to help you to prepare a meal. The cooking channel, the Food Network is always.
Well, that just depends on your relationship. If
Yeah.
that's the way that your relationship is grounded,
Hmm.
then that's what you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Just depends on your relationship.
I love to
Uh,
be able to share that experience in a kitchen. The man cutting up stuff while I'm there, you know. He may have a special dish where I can say, honey, you know, I love when you prepare that dish, you know. And I prepare a dish, he prepares something, and we eat and share the meal.
mhm.
Mm,
Another one of the, among other things, is if he has kids,
hmm.
treat them like they're your own
Of
kids.
course, you're supposed to.
Yes, you know. So, and my husband has a 52-year-old son, but um, he was 5 when we got married.
Hmm.
And so, and he doesn't call me his stepmother. He calls me his other mother.
Hmm. 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 Yeah,
Yeah. And so we've never used the word step in our relationship.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's lovely. That's lovely. It, you know, it comes down just like what you're saying. It depends on how you want to have your relationship. And
Yes.
once you make it work for you, you know, I mean, that's fine. The main thing I think people should take away from this episode is be whole. You're going into the relationship. You must be a whole person. He must be a whole person. It cannot be half half, three quarter
Yes.
quarter. Don't look for the other person to fulfill or fill that void for you.
That's right. That's
If you
correct. Yeah.
if you
So you,
say
it can't be done, and
no,
that's part of the reason why I think a lot of relationships don't last, because they're looking for something that should be within them,
yeah,
and they're looking for somebody to fill it.
fulfill,
And that can't happen. That
yeah.
cannot happen.
And
And so,
if you sense that, you should put a stop to it, remain friends with the person, or if you think this person still has potential, you love the person enough, you can, like you said, wait
mm-hmm,
where it goes. Don't just give up the person and say, well, I'm still not whole yet and I'm still searching for myself and trying to understand me. You know, I need to let you go. No, you still maintain the friendship. You can even let the man go and he may have other relationships with people. That's fine. That's part of the let
yeah.
go. If
And there are lots of relationships out there like that.
yeah, and if the
So,
guy decides he can't wait for you and he marries somebody else and it probably wasn't meant for you, then
mm-hmm,
you know you really have to let it go at that point.
yeah.
And the
And
right person will
the
come.
book is only 64 pages, which includes 21 pages of the recipes. So
Yeah,
it's only 40 some pages of text.
yeah.
And you are guaranteed to get something out of the book. You will learn something.
So
If
let
it's no
me
more
bring that
than
up.
not
Let me bring that up.
taking not taking man advice from a woman who has no man, you should modify the way you think.
Yeah,
Uh, uh, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Act like a lady
yeah.
at all times. You know, you see a lot of women uh, just embarrassing, and like the saying in the black community is putting them on Front Street. You know, yeah. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to embarrass him or humiliate him, or especially out in public. And you
Yeah,
see a lot of women doing that these
yeah,
days.
yeah, yeah. Because you see, women have to assert themselves, and
Yes.
they have. Yes, no, I'm not saying that it's a good reason or to justify or to give them an excuse. Just explaining, you know, this is probably why they think they need to do it because they have been made to be submissive or felt to be submissive or they have
Mm-hmm.
given permission to be submissive and they feel no, I need to assert myself more so that I can be seen and heard and respected. But a woman could be respected quietly. A woman
Yes,
could,
that's exactly what it should be. She
yeah,
should be respected quietly. And
yeah,
not only that, but, a man's, I think his eyes are connected to his penis.
yeah.
So when he sees an attractive woman, he wants to take her to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And when we see an attractive man, we're not like that. It's not the first thing that comes into our mind. We just think that he looks good.
Yeah,
But we don't necessarily want to take them to bed with us,
no,
but that's the way that men are. So once that a woman realizes that men are going to look at other women,
Mm-hmm.
there's no reason for you to feel intimidated or to feel any kind of way, because if he's just looking, he's with you. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what's important. He's with you. So if
Yeah.
he's going to look, sometimes I'll tell my husband, I said, boy, she looks really good, you
Of
know.
course. Of course.
Yeah. So,
But you
but
think
you
that they
can't,
want,
you can't
but just
feel
like you said,
intimidated by that.
but just like, of course, you would be intimidated because just like you said, they want to take that woman to bed, and some of them even pursue it. They take
Yes,
action.
they do.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they do take action because we don't want to go to bed with every man that we see that look good.
I know, but
We
that's not the way that we were wired.
no.
Men are not wired the way that we were.
We need to have a word with God. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
we
Thank you.
we need to have a word with God. That's right. That's what all of we women need to have a little session, a little powwow, you know,
Mhm.
over some of
Yeah.
Joyce's cooking and say, listen, we need to have a word with you, God. Something
Yes.
happened when you were
God did it.
cooking. And you know, he would say that is not true. Why are you trying to blame me? I didn't do that. It's
Yeah.
God that just did his own damn thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I formed him whole. He did everything. I gave him everything he needed. He didn't have to behave this way, you know, but
Yep.
he made a choice. He made a choice. Remember, they have free will. That's the one thing God gave us, free will.
Mm-hmm.
They have free will.
Yes.
Everybody, no matter what happens in your life, God gives you a choice. He doesn't force you to do anything, not even to love him, to follow him, to want him. Nothing.
That's true. That's
Nothing.
very
He
true.
gave you, that's the greatest probably gift. Besides life, he says, you you have free will to do what you want. So he leaves us to make the choice. But with everything, there's consequences, you know?
But you know, one of the things too that I have observed is that even when I was like much younger, um, like 18, 20, 30, and all of those ages up, you know, I watched women, older women
Mm-hmm.
and older couples,
Mm-hmm.
really. And the woman is in charge, you know,
Yeah,
because the man has learned to trust her
that's right.
decisions and so forth. So she's running the whole show at
But
that
that's
point
what it is.
because he doesn't care anymore about and he knows that he can trust her. He knows he can depend on whatever she's thinking and saying and feeling and all of that. So
But that's it.
you have to pay your dues.
Yeah, but that's it. But that's it, Joyce. We know, and they know. They know that we're the ones that really run things. We're the
Yes.
masters in the home. It's only when we step out and bear with them we may carry ourselves in a particular manner. But they know, even though we're out with them, they know. They
Well, you
know.
know what, Corrine? I say they wouldn't even know where their shorts were if we didn't
That's
know. We didn't tell.
what- you know that, Joyce. You know that.
Uh-huh.
That's another episode we have to talk about. But but they know this. And with
Hmm.
all the different feather fluffing and pushing up their chest and all the things that they do, they know. They
Yes, they do.
they know.
But you see, but we have to show them that we can be trusted with their hearts,
Yeah.
trusted with their wallets.
Yeah. That's another topic, Joyce.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely right. That's absolutely right. We have to be trusted. And I think, you know, most of us, not all of us, have earned that trust. We have, you know, worked for it. There's some really good women out there. There's some really good partners. There's some really good relationships. And I think I want to come back to that voice, that knowing, you know, deep in you, within you, that said that from 13 years, you knew this was the guy for you. You know, there's some people in their 20s, 30s, 40s thinking that this is the guy, but you know, I think it's all caught up in the worldview, and like we said, we're looking for somebody to complete us, as opposed to each one of us coming in, you know, complete ourselves.
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's very, very true. So you have to be, like I said, you have to be whole. And I
yeah.
don't think that a lot of women are working on making themselves whole. And you have to work on that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's not overnight. It's not overnight. I want to switch
Mm-mm.
over to your website here now. Give me your website.
Goodshortbooks.com.
Yeah, I got it here. I'm just waiting for it to come up. So here we go. I'm going to share the screen. There we go.
And
Beautiful.
I've got 3 children's books.
Yeah.
Jet Black and Her 7 Friends. It's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
The Vision, telling kids that they can make the world a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And Dear Bully. This is the one at the top here. Dear Bully.
Which one is that now?
Go back up and go
Yeah.
back up, back up, back up. There it is. Dear Bully.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
And this is the Limitless Golden Rule.
Yes.
Then
We mentioned.
the
Yeah.
Breast Cancer Journey to Greater Joy. I'm a 7-year breast cancer survivor and a 7-year stroke survivor.
Whoa.
And
Congratulations. Yes.
thank you. I was blogging about it, and so the book wrote itself.
That's
And then The Vision,
mm-hmm.
Mother's Dozen, which is a book of an easy recipe for raising great kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All of the books are true to the website's name, goodshortbooks.com.
Yeah.
None of them are more than 160 some pages. There's only one that's 100. Line of Serenity is 160 some pages, and it's 20 pages of the same recipes that are in The Best Way to Keep a Man is to Let Him Go. And then there's also 20 some pages of recipes,
yeah.
I mean, of pictures.
Yeah.
And so that means that there's only about 100 pages of text.
And this is your cooking here, Joyce?
No, that is not my cooking. But I found the picture that I gave to the people who did my covers for the books. So.
But you can cook like this. I'm coming over.
Oh yeah, I definitely can. And then this one is scroll down, up a little bit, up, yeah. Then The Best Way to Keep a Man. I love that cover. When they sent me that cover, I just almost fell out.
Yeah, no, this is lovely.
Jet Black and Her 7 Friends. It's a fairy tale about this little girl who is being bullied. It's multi-ethnic.
Wow.
It's, she goes to sleep at one night, and then she's taken on a magical journey where she meets her 7 friends. So you got to get the book to to find out what happened to her to make her brave.
Wow.
And then Madre Docena, that's Mother's Dozen in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And then My Simple Quotes to Live By.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's 169 quotes that I coined. I coined my first quote at 15 years old. And that quote states, "Never lose your hope and faith."
Yeah.
And I have lived by that from that day when I was 15 years old to this day when I'm 74. Whoa. I still have never lost my hope and faith. That's all you have, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just about to say that. That's all you have, really. That's all you have. Hope and faith.
Yep.
That's all you have.
And this is my sister. She wrote 1 book and I wrote 10. There are 11 books on the website.
Nice, nice.
And then this is where I'm reading Dear Bully, poems from Dear Bully.
Oh, here.
6 poems. It's 25 poems in the book, but I'm reading 6 of them. Okay,
nice. Nice. So these are just short, anecdotal type of books where persons can come and, get a quick taste, a quick feel. So persons can buy a number of the books and, based on what they're going through at a particular point in time, or a friend or a child. Or
yes, exactly. There are 3 books for children. Mm-hmm. Well, really 4, because my sister's book is really good for kids as well. It's My $15, a 55-year journey of love. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's just, the books range in price from $7.99 to $12.99. That's as much as they cost. Yeah, yeah.
This is awesome. This is awesome. And I mean, that people are not reading as much anymore and people want things short and quick. So They want to
Yeah.
get in, get in, get out. Give me the information quickly. But it's not a matter of giving the
Mm-hmm.
information quickly, it's what you do with it. To take action, to look within, do more introspection, inner work, inner healing. Yeah.
Yes, very much so. And
Mm.
the limitless golden rule, I just did Facebook Live,
Mm-hmm.
it's 21 ways to use the golden rule in your life. And
Mm-hmm.
I just did 7-day golden rule challenge. You can go to, and I put them on, it started out as Facebook Live, and then I put it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did on YouTube, I don't know if everybody's familiar with Facebook, but
Yeah.
it goes down in your timeline, so you don't get to see it, But
Okay.
then I put it on YouTube, and all of them, all 7, and there are all 7 of them are, none of them are more than 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I give 21 ways to use the golden rule in your life. So I use 7 days, and then I get 3 scenarios for the at the park, at home, at work, at school,
Mm-hmm.
at the doctor's office,
Mm-hmm.
on the road driving, and then I deal with the media,
Yeah.
music, television, radio, all of that.
Yeah.
And then it's just that book is only 43 pages. It's $7.99 as well. But I try to go into, I think that we have lost sight of the golden rule.
Yeah. Do unto others. Yeah. As you would,
That's right.
you
As
would want to.
you would have, and so many people now don't even know what it is.
I don't- because Joyce, they're caught up into self, only themselves, a selfish way of thinking.
Yeah.
Me, the ego, me, I, that whole egoistic thing, as
Oh,
opposed to coming from within, that true self. How would you feel? There's no empathy anymore. People are just like rats on what do you call those things? A hamster wheel, kind of.
oh, that's awful. I'm so glad I'm not like that.
Yeah, the rat race, running towards this, pushing down people like crabs in
Mhm.
a barrel to get where they want to go, and realizing with all the running, all the everything, they're still not happy.
Well, still, please go to the YouTube and check out the Golden Rule Challenge. Just put in Golden Rule Challenge, and they will come up. And it's, and I talk about the religions. All religions in this world have some form of the Golden Rule in them.
Of course, that is a central tenet. It doesn't matter where you are, what language you speak, what color of your skin.
Exactly, exactly.
It is a common tenet. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yes.
matter. They could sing it in song, talk it in different language. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Joyce, this has been a pleasure. I really enjoyed talking with you, sharing, getting some wisdom from you. Unfortunately, your husband isn't here to share his perspective from a man's side of things. But next time, he's going to have to jump on and bring his man's perspective so that the men can hear from the man.
Oh, really?
Yes, we want to hear from the man because they don't want to hear
Okay.
from the woman, but the men, there's a
Yeah.
whole
Well,
brotherhood.
I'll have to tell my husband that.
Yeah, there's a brotherhood code. When
Uh-huh.
guys get together at the bar and drink and talk and whatever they do, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't get into the brotherhood. You don't get into the brotherhood. There's no entry there. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, so
Okay.
it's all part of the letting go
Well,
now. You let the guys do their thing. When the guys going out fishing or they're going driving, you just let them do their thing because they need their space just as much as we need ours as women. Yeah.
oh man, yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, they sure do. So,
Yeah.
but it comes with the territory. So
It comes with it. Yeah.
you have to, like I said, pay your dues. But
Yeah, you
I
do.
still say it depends on the woman.
Yeah. Yeah. But thank you so much, Joyce Fields. It's been a pleasure talking with you. It's been an honor. I enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, Corrine. I really enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I hope people listening to this will be able to take something away, pick up a couple of your books, share them, and you share things about cancer, you share things about the stroke. So there are a lot of benefits from picking up copies of your books. Yeah. Thank you so much for
Oh,
being on
good.
between the
Thank
lines.
you. Thank you. Bye.